Do you think there will be a housing market crash? Are you, as a landlord, prepared? Um, so I have no idea. I don't know if there's going to be a crash or not. I would say for the most part, real estate has always trended upwards. And those times where it hasn't, it was because of some sort of underlying manipulation of the financial instruments that went along with real estate, right? So in 2008, when there was that big housing crash, the global financial crisis, whatever you want to call it, there were a significant number of bad loans on the books. I don't see that right now. Things tightened up so much from a lending perspective as it pertains to real estate after 2008 that I'm pretty confident that there are very few bad loans on the books. I think the financial instruments that have kind of been played with for the real estate market are the things like all the stimulus money and all these programs out there willing to pay for people's rents right now. I think the eviction moratorium, the foreclosure moratorium, I think those things may have some impact at some point. But since they've never really been done before on a scale that they have recently, it would be really hard to predict anything based on those. I see the labor shortage, I see the material or supply shortage, and I see the housing shortage. So I'm hard pressed to come up with any type of potential scenario where those three things change anytime soon. So if it is harder to build a house, but yet still a need for more of them, if there are fewer people there to build homes, then all I see is the homes getting more scarce. Interest rates, all of that, they might limit the buying pool, but how small the buying pool doesn't matter if there's a disproportionately just such a deficit on the number of houses available. I've got some friends that think some type of correction is going to happen. I've got some others that don't think it's going to happen. So I don't know. I can see it both ways. I have some people that already say that in some places the inventory is shooting up, the days on market are lengthening. I know some other people that are saying that it's a buyer's market again, not a seller's market like it has been. But as far as on a day-to-day basis, the amount of changes that I've seen in real estate investing so far in this area, they've been very few. So I think it's impossible to say. Like I mentioned earlier in this mastermind that we're doing, we're studying like some books written by billionaires and some interviews with billionaires. And Howard Marks he runs a fund, and he wrote a book called The Most Important Thing, and that book was written very shortly after the global financial crisis. So I find it to be really relevant for anybody that wants to explore this line of questioning. And one of the things that he said in that book that I really appreciate is there are two types of economic forecasters: those that don't know, and those that don't know they don't know. Right. So I think that's really important. I think that another one of his points is there are so many variables, there are so many possibilities and potential outcomes that it is unrealistic to possibly be right in your predictions, and you're going to be wrong significantly more than you will ever be right. And if you are right once, then you shouldn't fool yourself in thinking that you have some type of internal hunch that is going to be more right than not, or you're going to be right the next time as well. So be careful. I think regardless of what is or isn't happening, always having a healthy reserve is ideal. But I would also say if you own any business or you own any real estate portfolio, your total overall exposure is always going to be significantly higher than any reserve you're able to realistically carry, right? Because if you ever carry an appropriate reserve, then you're probably really seasoned in the industry already. You probably have a significant amount of resources. I'm thinking about Berkshire Hathaway right now, right, where they're sitting on a massive amount of cash, but they've been doing this for a very, very long time, and they were able to build that up. But also, you know, If you take their total overall exposure and all of the things that could go wrong, and if you make them happen at the same time, then they don't nearly have the amount of capital that they should in order to truly be insulated. So I'm going to stand by my first statement without kind of altering it and saying that you should always have a healthy reserve, but if you want to play this what if game and talk about things crashing and multiple bad things happening at once, then your reserve will never be large enough for you to feel comfortable to take on the world in a I am prepared moment. However, I think one thing that can insulate you more than your reserve is your own personal stick with itness, your own work ethic, your own ability to be agile, to pivot when needed, to change your business model with the changing economic market, to adapt and maneuver and continue to work hard and figure things out, and always be looking to provide additional value to the economy. So I think if you if you do that, then you're going to end up just fine through any of these kind of market seasons, right? And it's not uncommon for any of these multimillionaires or billionaires to have gone bankrupt, or to at least have lost everything, or have been on the cusp or brink of losing everything at some point in their career. But what ultimately brought all of them through it is their work ethic, their unwillingness to give up, their ability to pivot, their ability to adapt to the changing market and continue. So I think that's my overarching sentiment. Am I prepared? Yes. And what we lack in reserves, we will make up for in determination, stick with itness, and our quest to bring value to the marketplace. Thanks for watching that clip. I thought that was a good question. And I think you can ask good questions too. Join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live stream Q&A where we answer plenty of questions just like this one. In the meantime, consider subscribing to the channel if you want more of this content. And if you want to increase your deal flow, analyze properties better, and help me feed my family, click the link below for a free 7-day trial of PropStream.